In today's solo spearfishing mission, I'm going to be swimming over 1 mile offshore, where I'm going to take some of my deepest drops ever in pursuit of some giant reef fish. But the monsters that are lurking out there are bigger than anything I ever imagined. I'm going to do it all using my brand new 115 centimeter roller spear gun. Enjoy. I geared up, grabbed my new gun, and started heading out. There's a lot of deep water and sand bottom out here, but eventually I found this nice reef structure, and I got ready to take my first dive. I end up getting pretty close to these moo, but not quite close enough. Regardless, it's not bad for my gun's maiden dive. This area has a ton of life, so I head back down. There's a big school of goatfish, a lot of nui, and some really nice looking moo. I drift down to the bottom, and I can tell that these moo aren't super skittish. I get into position, and I just have to wait for them to drift by me. I smash him, but the shot's high. I start slowly pulling the moo back in, and I'm really hoping he's not going to break free. I get him close to me, and then he has a burst of energy, rips off, and dives into the cave. I dove down a ton to search for the moo, but I could not find him anywhere. I don't think he's got any plans on coming out of that cave. It's such a bummer to lose that fish, but on the bright side, my gun worked amazing. It had a super quick shot, and those rollers were buttery smooth. These moo are a little bit jumpier, so I line up for a super long shot. I hit him, and there's no way he's going to come off of that one. I cannot believe how good this gun is. That was a super far shot, and I absolutely smoked him. I guess this guy was getting curious about all the commotion, because he swam over to say hi. He is so beautiful in the water here, but that barnacle does not look pretty. Looks like a big white pimple hanging off the side of his face. I wish he'd come right up to me so I could rip that thing off, but he looks like he's doing just fine. I kept swimming out until I was an entire mile offshore. I took a deep breath and dove down. I hit the bottom here at 64 feet and began assessing my surroundings. This Roy came cruising by, and then I spotted a nice sized blacktail snapper. Doesn't get any cleaner than that. This zone had a ton of life, so I decided to go down for another drop. Right before I get to the bottom here, you can see this beautiful kumu and this lovely moo, but I didn't end up getting any opportunities on them, so I headed right back up to the surface. I started to dive down again, but this time it was different. Before I even hit the bottom, I saw a massive fish swimming around. I diverted my path and started chasing after him, and it turns out it was a giant uku. But he did not want anything to do with me, and I made a huge mistake. If you're ever in this situation, don't do what I did. Instead, just land on the bottom, do some grunts, and he'll probably come over. Regardless, I decided I needed some chum, so I dove down again, and I smashed this fatty Roy. It almost looked like I missed there, but this gun is so powerful, it just blasted right through it. I reloaded my gun and started chumming up that Roy. As I approach the bottom, I see these two omilu cruising across the reef. They look nice, but I'm praying for that big uku. I start looking around, and I don't see anything yet, so I decide to just settle in on the reef. The omilu come back around, and so do these two fat, beautiful kumu, but I'm not super interested. I really want that big uku, but I'm out of breath, so I gotta head back up to the surface. I dove down a couple more times, but I didn't have any more luck. I decided to swim out a bit further, and I got to this nice zone right here. So right now I'm taking a drop on a brand new section of reef. Before I even hit the bottom, I see one of the most beautiful sights imaginable. It's a school of big fat moo with some big fat kumu swimming alongside of them. I decide to hit the bottom right here, and I'm going to play it as patiently as I can. I settle in and start scratching the reef, and they all turn towards me and start heading over. Look at that big fat moana collie there as well. I have so many amazing options. The moo drift a little bit closer, and I line up. I smash him, but he starts running hard. Look at him spooling my reel. He starts swimming all around this coral and getting completely tangled. I do what I can to try to get him untangled right now, but I know I'm going to need a whole nother breath for this. Honestly, I'm not sure what I was thinking shooting that moo. Don't get me wrong, it's a great fish, but look at the size of that moana collie, or even those beautiful kumus. I already had a moo on my belt, but regardless, it's a successful dive. However, with that being said, I still need to dive down and retrieve the thing. Lucky for me, everything went super smoothly. I just pulled this guy out of his hiding hole, untangled the line, and I was good to head back up. This moo is absolutely beautiful, one of the bigger ones I've caught before. All this line can get a little bit difficult to manage, especially when you're also trying to manage some fish. As I struggled to sort this line and get these fish on my belt, I was drifting back with the current closer to shore. After a couple minutes, I looked down and noticed something huge below me. It was a giant tiger shark. This thing was huge. It had to have been 15 or 16 feet. Absolutely massive. This is the same exact zone where I chummed up that Roy earlier trying to search for that uku. I tried to get my line in as quickly as I could, but it was a complete mess, and there was a giant tiger shark 60 feet below me. It might look small, but that's just the distance. I didn't want to hang around with my belt full of dead fish trying to untangle the line, so I just got in as much as I could and started swimming directly back towards shore. I kept my movements slow and calm and just prayed that that shark would not get interested. Thankfully, the most eventful thing that happened on my way home was me seeing this little baby taco. I tried to go and say hi to him, but I guess he was feeling a little bit shy. Despite the shark scare, this was a super good day of spearfishing, so you know I gotta show these guys off. I am so stoked on these guys. I think this was my first time ever getting 2 moo in one trip. That was a crazy dive, but I've actually got some bonus clips for you guys. Check it out. I dived down on this Roy, and I'm in a really shallow zone here. You can see the surge is just really wanting to push me around this reef. So I'm staring him down for a little bit, and all of a sudden we both get washed into the surge. I line up and smash him. Super satisfying shot. On this morning, a hurricane was touching down just 100 miles away, and for some reason I thought it would be a good idea to go diving. The visibility was absolutely terrible. I don't even have my gun fully loaded here, because if something came in far away, I don't think I'd even see it. I still want to get something to eat though, so I look around, and eventually, after a little bit of time and deliberation, I decide that I'm going to take this fat kole. I smash him, and even though it wasn't super impressive, at least it means I've got something to eat. On my next dive, I saw this little lobster, but he wasn't in season, so I just tried to give him a high five, and then I was on my way. On this next dive, there wasn't anything too interesting, just these kole and these menpachi, but, you know, I'm just trying to eat, so I decided to sample one. This little cave was pretty, but it had nothing for me. It's crazy how bad this visibility is. I knew I was still going to be a little bit hungry, so I dove down on this kole, and I hit kind of a crazy shot. It looks normal on this side, but check out that exit hole, right through the eye. Before this dive, I'd met some really nice local guys, and after I got these kole, they invited me up to eat with them. We ended up doing a steamed kole wrapped in tea leaves, and it was really, really incredible. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. I really, really appreciate it. I had so much fun on these dives, and I will see you all in the next one.